What's up, YouTube? Back at it again, another tier list. And since I love One Piece and I did the arcs last week, I thought maybe I should continue doing another One Piece, but this one is a little different. Saddest stories, backstories, deaths, moments, just the worst moments that you can think of that are in One Piece. But let's get into it. First off, we got probably the saddest and worst scene to see that everybody, even Oda's editors, are like, nah bro, you can't do this. And Oda said, too bad, it has to happen. And that is Ace's death. His death is S tier because it's so sad but so powerful at the same time, and so much character development for Luffy that it can't go unnoticed. Next up, we have after the Alabasta arc with Baroque Works, and when they're leaving Vivi, she's on the coast crying and screaming out power of friendship and the X on their arm. This one, it's pretty good, but I don't think it's quite an A. It's really not a C because it's not as low as I think it is, but I'm gonna place it about a B. Next up, we got Nami's backstory. Arlong shows up, but this moment early on, Arlong Park, great arc, but I only put this one about C because it's not too big, impactful, I guess, but it does help build the backstory for Nami. Next up, we got the mother legend, Bon Clay, protecting the boys, helping them get out from Impel Down. This is an A tier, not quite an S, but you gotta respect the Bon and the legend himself. Next up, we got Brook. I'm not entirely sure which memory or moment this is. It's either when he joins the crew and he's happy that he found him, or it's crying hearing about Laboon. Either way, this one's pretty good, and I only think it sits around a B or a C, but if I have to rank it right now, I'd probably place it lower of a C. Next up, we got Shoo Shoo, the legend, the dog with the best backstory you could think of, in the heart of gold, Luffy the legend. S tier. Then we go to Karsan and his death with Doflamingo and Law, him staying alive long enough for Law to get away, and it's just phenomenal. So powerful, so crazy good. S. Next we got Dadan. This is when Garp comes back to town and she is on top crying and beating the absolute piss out of Garp. And this scene is pretty powerful, but I probably want to put it higher than a C. Next up we got Chopper's farewell. This one is, powerful because the boys leaving home, going out on a trip, but I don't find this one as sad as the others, so I'm gonna place it about a D. Next we got Tiger and the Sun Pirates after their ambush, dropping Koala off back home, and no one on the ship is able to help him. The only way they could do it is if a human were to do it, but it was totally against all things Fishman and everything to do with blood transfusions between Fishman and human, because Fishman, obviously the racism of One Piece towards them. This one I put a B. Next, we have the first ship going down in flames after Annie's lobby, sobbing, Luffy in absolute tears, Usopp crying through his Sniper King mask. This one is an A. Oda himself was crying when he drew this and wrote this. Robin, her kind of backstory gets brought up, and she was willing to risk her life and give it up so that they could get away, and Luffy yells at her, "Tell me you wanna live!" Sobbing, thinking about it. I place this one about an A because it's so good, and then Luffy proceeds to kick CP9's ass. Next up we got King, Ruku, however the hell you say it, and Dressrosa when Doflamingo took over. This backstory is messed up. It sucks, but I only place it about a C because the stuff leading up after the fact is even worse. worse. When Scarlet is dead and he has to be carried by her husband that no one remembers because Sugar turned him into a toy. He's carrying his dead wife and he can't feel her. The toy himself crying, powerful, probably about a B. Next, we got Luffy's reaction after Ace's death. This, obviously, is an S tier. S tier without a doubt, because of how Luffy reacts, how Jinbei is there, and how he realizes what he still has. Next up, Luffy versus Usopp. This one right here is a powerful fight between the two with the ship going down. I still kind of get goosebumps thinking about it, but I only place this about a B. The fight itself was good. Usopp showed his tactical mind at work, and the after the fact where he walks to the ship and he tells Zoro it's so hard, it's so heavy. Zoro goes, "This is what it means to be captain, and if you can't stick with this, how are we supposed to follow you?" Powerful stuff. Next up, we got Arlong Park, the walk up just before Nami stabbing her arm because she's so mad at Arlong. Luffy stops her. She's pissed. She asks for help. He slams the hat on her head and tells the boys, "Let's go." Walking down. Obviously a S tier moment. We got Robin after the first Buster call, her island of Ohara, and her swimming away on the boat that Aokiji gave Ice Path to so she could make it and be there safe. That's a B tier. Next up, we got Pedro's sacrifice and Whole Cake. He goes there knowing that this is going to be his last voyage, because no one is willing or wanting to face it, and he knows what he has to do to get them out of there. This one is easily an A tier. Next up, we got Pound getting attacked from behind by Oven. Everyone thought he was dead. He's not actually dead, so that's a D. Next up, we got Sanji at Whole Cake Island, which is when he's standing outside of Pudding's window and hears her conversation with Riju. I always say their names wrong, don't make fun of me. And him trying to light a cigarette while crying, and it's in the rain, and it's just a whole mess out there. This one isn't too crazy, but it is a good moment. I put it as a C. Next up, we got the drawing by the trader piece with Kanjuro, and this one, like, it's a cool moment. He helps him get on top of Zhao, but D. Next, we got Sabo's first death. Sabo's death, and when he gets blown up by the celestial dragons trying to leave, he gets saved and brought back by the Revolutionary Army. I don't place this one a D by any means. I would place this about a C as well. Years later, after training, he has amnesia, finds the paper and sees something about Ace, and all of his memories come rushing back to him, and he loses his freaking mind because it all comes flooding back. This moment's pretty powerful. I wouldn't put it much higher than a B. Next up is another crew fight, which is Sanji and Luffy. This fight, this whole episode, hour-long episode between the two is so good. Luffy doesn't fight back once. Sanji's using full hockey on him, beats the crap out of him, knocks Luffy out. I place this one about an A. I don't think it's quite S tier, but the fight itself is so good, and the ending with Luffy yelling as he goes away is great. After the fact, after Sanji beats him up, after Sanji finds out the plan of Big Mom, he finally makes his way back to Luffy. And Luffy's waiting there starving because he's been fighting everybody and anything all night. And it's just a powerful moment between the homies. But I only place this one about a B. Next up, we got before the time skip, before Marineford, is when Kuma sends everyone off. This is a crazy scene for everybody because Luffy's in arm's length of everybody. They're finally making a way, and the real Kuma shows up and he sends them. After Enies lobby, after the big Usopp fight, him begging on the side, yelling at the ship saying that he's sorry, take him back. I do think this is a really good moment, but I wouldn't rank it higher than a D compared to some of these other ones, especially the ones sitting at a C. Next up, we got the man, the myth, The legend, Whitebeard. I don't really need to say more. S tier. The man didn't take a single scratch to his back, died standing up, and man could destroy the world. And then finally, there's two of them here, so we'll just place them both. Hammerluck and his death. My son's coming. Please don't kill him. Sobbing. Tears. A tier. Right there. And there you have it. That's my One Piece tier list. Hope you like it. Make sure if you have any suggestions or you have different moments that I should go over, maybe even a power ranking coming up. There's so many different ones that we could do. Yeah, thanks for hanging out.